For over 3,000 years, one people has endured slavery, exile, persecution, and genocide, yet has never disappeared: the Jewish people. From the deserts of ancient Mesopotamia to the heart of modern Israel, their story is one of faith, resilience, and misunderstanding. But the real question is, why? Why have Jews been treated like this for their entire history? It all begins around 2000 BCE with a man named Abraham. According to the Torah, God makes a covenant with him, a divine promise, that his descendants will become a great nation, chosen to bring light and morality to the world. That idea, of being chosen, would later inspire, but also isolate, the Jewish people. In a world of polytheism, they were the first to proclaim, "There is only one God," and that God demanded justice, not sacrifice, compassion, not conquest. This monotheistic revolution set them apart, and for many made them threatening. Under Moses, they escaped slavery in Egypt, the Exodus, and received the Ten Commandments. The Torah wasn't just a religious text, it was a constitution, a moral and legal system unlike anything else at the time. This strong identity helped the Jews survive exile, but it also made them stubbornly resistant to assimilation. And that's one of the first reasons behind their persecution. Wherever they went, they remained different. Around 1000 BCE, King David made Jerusalem the capital. His son Solomon built the first temple, the heart of Jewish worship. But political division and foreign invasions followed. In 586 BCE, the Babylonians destroyed the temple and exiled the Jews to Babylon, the first great diaspora. Yet, instead of vanishing, they adapted. They turned religion into something portable, not tied to a temple, but to the Torah. This adaptability would become their superpower, and also, ironically, another reason for resentment. Under Greek and later Roman rule, Jews again clashed with empires that demanded cultural conformity. When Rome destroyed the Second Temple in 70 CE, it scattered the Jews across the world. In exile, they created new centers of learning: Babylon, Alexandria, later Spain, and Europe. They became merchants, doctors, scholars, often excelling in societies that limited their rights. And success, especially from a minority, breeds jealousy. During the Middle Ages, Jews were often forbidden from owning land or joining guilds, so they worked in trade and finance, one of the few professions allowed. When kings or nobles borrowed money and couldn't pay it back, Jews became convenient scapegoats. Add to this religious tension, Christian Europe saw Jews as the people who had rejected, and even crucified, Jesus. This belief justified centuries of anti-Semitism, massacres during the Crusades, expulsions from England, France, and Spain, and the horrors of the Inquisition. The story repeated itself for centuries: economic envy, religious intolerance, and political manipulation. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the Enlightenment gave Jews civil rights in parts of Europe. They entered science, politics, and culture, from Einstein to Freud to Marx. But with new visibility came new hate, racial anti-Semitism. Now Jews were not persecuted for their religion, but for their very existence. This ideology reached its darkest point under Nazi Germany, where 6 million Jews were murdered during the Holocaust. In 1948, after 2,000 years of exile, the Jewish people returned to their ancient homeland, Israel. For many, it was redemption. For others, especially Palestinians, it was the beginning of a new tragedy. Yet, the same resilience that had carried the Jews through centuries of persecution now fueled the building of a modern state. So, why? Why have Jews faced hatred for so long? Historians point to three main reasons. 1. Religious difference. They refused to abandon their monotheism, their laws, their customs. 2. Economic roles. Restricted by laws, they often worked in finance or trade, which made them both useful and resented. 3. Social envy and scapegoating. In times of crisis, rulers and societies found it easy to blame the other. But there's something deeper too. Judaism has always demanded thought, debate, and education. In every age, that intellectual independence challenged conformity, and societies, old or new, don't always like people who think differently. The story of the Jewish people is not only one of suffering, it's one of survival. Despite exile, persecution, and even genocide, they preserved their faith, their identity, and their culture. They remind us that resilience and knowledge can outlast hatred. So maybe the real mystery isn't why they were hated, but how they endured.